My conversion to Islam came as a surprise to me. I was a Protestant Christian, where I spread God's love to the poor, the humble, the suffering and the hopeless. It turned out that while I was spreading the love of Jesus, I didn't believe my own words. When I decided to study theology to find answers to my questions, I became even more confused. I didn't understand certain things taught by the pastors and professors at the university, so the more I questioned, the more I became confused, and at many times I cried out of anguish and suffering for not being able to answer my heart. How could I serve God faithfully if I had doubts about His Son? Then, after much study, I became convinced in my heart of everything I had learned as a child. My mother, a woman faithful to God, always taught us to fear Him and to have faith in only one God, despite my mother's ignorance. She didn't study, she didn't take any courses in life to know the truth. Then her words began to run through my mind. Another moment was when my two older sisters converted to Islam 11 years ago. I watched their every action, their every move, their every word about Allah. I decided to study Islam, but, to my surprise, He wasn't in my studies, but inside my heart, but I couldn't hear Him, because I was caught up in looking for answers where I would never get answers. As I watched my sisters, especially one of them, the most fervent, she did everything that was taught in the Quran, even if it cost her some losses. I understood that when I talked about Jesus, I would never get answers to life, because He was a prophet and not a God as I was taught. I decided to ask my sister about the Holy Quran, and she patiently and meekly taught me about the true God, Allah. She taught me how to serve Him, worship Him and obey Him without bowing down to anything or anyone else. During my life as a Christian, the first told people to seek the love of Christ and salvation in Him, God. How ignorant. Thanks to Allah and many Muslim brothers, I was able to begin to understand what it is to serve one God. I began to talk to some good Muslims and get the most beautiful answers about Allah. Not what the Brazilian media shows on TV, like men killing people, women being mutilated or stoned, children being put to death in the name of Allah. None of that. I found an Islam of peace, renunciation of the rotten world, renunciation of the darkness of darkness, an Islam of love, compassion, solidarity, affection, care for their wives and children, great teachings on how to educate and care for a family, something I didn't see in the Christians around me, and how many times I questioned this to my teachers and pastors. How do you exalt God's name inside a church and then go to a bar to drink? Or to a disco to dance all night for Satan? So these two sides of Christianity made me realize how much is said but how little is lived in a life of true servitude to God. These and other details led me to seek Islam as a religion where one worships and venerates a single God and Lord. So after leaving Christianity, the church and my Christian brothers, I spent 6 months just looking for information and observing Muslim behavior, and that's when I decided to do the Shahada and become a faithful and firm Muslim in Islam. Today I understand that I had to experience the other side of the coin to know that God never abandoned me or let me stray from His path of light and truth. It was a moment when I would find my true identity. Now I'm faithful to Allah, I'm very happy, I'm a secure woman, I'm studying again at another university, but not in search of answers, but in search of knowledge for a new life, a new job and maybe a new marriage, because I'm separated, waiting for a divorce. My separation has nothing to do with my religious choice, it was for other reasons. Now I have my children to look after and guide them to a new path of peace and light. May Allah grace us with His infinite mercy and love. I thank the good Muslims who have shown me a clean Islam, unblemished or divergent in itself. I am now trying to understand everything about my new journey, and this website of the brothers has only strengthened my faith and love for Allah. May Allah bless you always.